Ciaran, do you ever look at Ozzy and sort of think about, you were a marquee player, probably a marked man on the opposition. Maybe people try and get inside your head. Do you ever think what Ozzy's going through?
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, if you command respect in the field, not too many will come chirping at you, right? That's number one. And I suppose, yeah, and you're a sitting duck then, as Richie said, if you're kind of feeding into it, and that's probably the weakest part of his game because he has everything else. And I suppose if he just has a look at David Clifford, how he went about his business in the football a few weeks ago, the cornerback was doing everything in his power to get inside his head. And at the end of the day, Clifford did most of the talking with the scoreboard. And if Austin Gleeson kind of can get that ruthless streak and probably see it as a compliment if they're coming annoying him, trying to antagonize him, they're obviously doing it for a reason, to upset your game, upset your rhythm, and please God, rather than going 99.9% today, they want you only going to 20 or 30 because the chances are greater. So if he can do a small bit of a psychological twist in his head, it'll benefit him usually. But, I've watched him closely for the last number of years. He does great things. He's great imagination and a super player, very versatile player, and seems to be kind of a very honest player as well on the field. So it would be a shame not to bring all of that in the biggest games, and the biggest game for Waterford now is next Saturday night.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see what's the greatest lengths that somebody's gone to try and wind you up. I mean, I would have been a back marking people, so I wouldn't have had too much, but I've had a lad get a water bottle and squirt it in my face and then question why I transferred club and that I wasn't good enough for my home club and all that kind of stuff. But Ciaran, what have people tried with you over the years?
I suppose if I got a bit of it, it might have been at club level with different players, and that's par for the course when you're playing a club match. They want to know cut off you, right? And it wouldn't necessarily be an inter-county colleague either, right? And I suppose I came across very little of it at club level and inter-county level, and I suppose my motto, I would have been very fair and very honest, and whoever I was on, and if he was doing the same, that was fine. But if he was slightly different than that, he would have always got it back with a bit of that, very nicely, very quietly. And I suppose, and that comes down to respect. That comes down to respect. And anybody who, it wouldn't be in me anyway to do John at a player, or to try get a player going. It wouldn't be in my nature. You go out hard and fair. But unfortunately, there is players that try it. But I believe the players even that try that couldn't be fully tuned into their own game or their own mission in hand. So I haven't come across it very much, to be fair, and I might have did a small bit at club level. I remember one player, he just made some kind of a comment, and I think it might have been the semi-final of the championship. Now at the time, I was all over the place myself mentally. So it was about 5 minutes to go, and he said the comment, and it wasn't a nice comment, it was a nasty comment, and I just went over and just dropped him when the game was over. That was the end of that. But it wasn't nice. It wasn't nice. It was really low below the belt, and it was my first time encountering it, and I didn't encounter it my last time too.
Oh God Almighty! I'm wondering, should I ask you what he said? But then again, I'm sure it's probably not fit for.
No, but come here. It was kind of personal, nothing at all to do with hurling. And funny enough, their manager of the club came up to me afterwards, and I actually said exactly what your man said, and he said to me, he was good measure for itself.
Did you come up against much for Richie?
I suppose similar to Ciaran, Shane. No, at inter-county level, from my collection, I don't think I ever encountered it. Like there was the rough and tumble of backs getting in your face, but never anything verbally or physically, and which was great. Now there was once or twice at club level, all right. I do remember one game going back a good few years ago. A full back continued to pinch me under the arm for the whole hour.